So once again, here's a theory I'd like to share with you. I got more of them than Kilmeade's got hair plugs.
I don't have.
Yeah.
Totally unnecessary.
It was unnecessary.
Okay.
We're starting early.
Thank you.
But I want to talk about how performance has replaced belief, from politics to the classroom to social media. Let's start with the Democrats' newest star, Justin Pearson. He's one of the Tennessee Dems who started a near riot in a government building and disrupted a legislative session with a bullhorn. But to understand how he's now a star, let's go back a bit. Here he is in 2016 while in college.
I'm Justin J. Pearson, and I'm running for president of BSG. There are a few reasons that we're running this campaign this year. One has to do with representation. How can we represent all voices in a conversation? I wanted to do this by partnering with organizations from the Bowdoin Democrats to the Bowdoin Republicans. I want to bring together different voices, dissenting voices, voices that may be more liberal or more conservative, in order that we can reach a point of sort of the radical middle.
Oh my God, he seems like the nicest young man ever running for school office, and he makes so much sense. Here he is now.
Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes.
Amazing. Malcolm in the middle became Malcolm X in the middle. I haven't seen a transition like this since this guy became this girl. That's all right. But since Pearson led a revolt in a government building, he's now a liberal darling. If Republicans did that, they'd be in jail. Well, unless they're FBI informants. But instead of getting shot or put in solitary, Democrats get worshipped, like me when I do yoga at the local nude beach. But it's such a transformation for Pearson, it makes you wonder, how authentic is it? It's happened before. Let's go to the first tape, Clarence.
They threaten, we recognize Taiwan as legitimate China until the 1970s. Then that flips, and we say, okay, but just recognize Taiwan's autonomy. They go, that's fine.
All right, well, let's see it a month later.
Seemed like the NRA and gun lobbyists might win. But oh, that was good news for us. I don't know how long this Saturday in the state of Tennessee might last. But oh, we have good news, folks. We've got good news that Sunday always comes.
You know, I would call that a distinct improvement.
I went with the moment.
Yes, you did.
I felt like that somehow I needed to change.
But you see how contagious artificial emotion can be. It's the source code of the new woke, where the performance matters and nothing else. It's happening more because we incentivize it. I mean, why do men suddenly decide that they're women? They've been incentivized. Suddenly the non-binary male is on par with the actual female in the area of rights. That's a first. Now in articles decrying sexual discrimination, females and trans females are grouped together, even if they're still biological men. Not bad, right? You still get to have a penis, but also become a protected class and wear pumps. Our old friend Kayla Lemieux totally got it. The Canadian teacher with fake breasts the size of a dairy farm. He decided to exploit the identity politics grift to the point of absurdity. Here's new video from this week. Again, he's back to his normal self.
I thought your breasts were real. Where are your breasts? Why are you dressing inappropriately in front of children?
But did you notice? No breasts. But Lemieux, I thought you told the world via the New York Post and the Toronto Sun that those were real mammary glands.
It's true. Kayla had said those breasts magically grew organically. He said it was a symptom of gigantism. But now they're gone. Now, did they shrink in the cold? It happens. Trust me. But now everyone's a performance artist with beliefs as fluid as deer piss. And speaking of deer piss, you see that sales of Bud Light are literally in the can. Thanks to partnering with Dylan Mulvaney, the performance artist who, like the Canadian teacher, indulged stereotypes of women, and drove beer sales into the toilet. One bar owner in St. Louis, where Bud is headquartered, says sales of Bud dropped 50% over the past week. Another in New York City said Bud Light bottle sales were down 70%, and a bar in Texas that usually sells 3 kegs of Bud Light a week sold 4 bottles. The big picture, according to the New York Post, Anheuser-Busch lost more than $5 billion in value during this controversy. And why? Because consumers are keenly aware of inauthenticity. It's as phony as Jesse's last rap album. Yeasty Boy. And the reaction to all this is healthy, because, this isn't a left-wing boycott. It's just consumers registering their exhaustion with force-fed virtue signaling nonsense. They're sick of the performances. Of course, Justin Pearson isn't the first politician to fake it. Remember this?
I'm proud to be a bartender. Ain't nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with working retail, folding clothes for other people to buy. There's nothing wrong with preparing the food that your neighbors will eat.
Can I get a witness up in here? And let's not forget the original.
I don't feel no ways tired. I come too far from where I started from. Nobody told me that the road would be easy. I don't believe he brought me this far to leave me.
Whatever you say, Wheezy Jefferson. My favorite Jefferson. But sometimes politicians do get caught. Yeah. Sacagawea, more like Sacagawea. And it's not just politicians. Remember Alec Baldwin's wife?
We have very few ingredients. We have tomatoes. We have, how do you say it? Cucumbers.
It never gets old. How you say cucumber? I want that on my tombstone. And in fact, cucumbers are really an underrated medical device. So, what?
That's what we're asking.
Yes. Pearson, I got to give Pearson credit. In an era of wokeism where pretending to be aggrieved is required, Pearson dove in head first to get ahead. Play the victim, game the system. But like someone famous once said, don't hate the player, hate the game. I believe it was this guy. Let's welcome tonight's guest. His books are the perfect gag gift because they make readers throw up. Co-host of Fox and Friends, Brian Kilmeade. She's so tough, we have to marinate her before the show. Fox News contributor, Kellyanne Conway. She's like a Q-tip, skinny, white, and damaging to your ears. Fox News contributor, Kat Timm. And a family of bald eagles has a nest behind his left ear. My massive sidekick and the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Tyrus. All right, Tyrus.
I knew it.
Okay, two-part question. Which Pearson was the real Pearson, and would he be a good wrestler?
No, because he's phony. It was fake as
Yeah.
And as I stand here today, tell you, look, I'm all good with changing views. I changed views. Mm-hmm. But I didn't change my clothes with my views. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I was dressed this way when I was thinking, you know what? I'm a Democrat. Mm-hmm. The man, you know. And then I got my paycheck, and my taxes got taken out. Mm-hmm. I was like, I need to learn about the man because this taxation stuff is terrible. Yeah. But I didn't turn my hat around. Yeah. I didn't get a suit. I didn't start talking like I sit uptight all day, like, good evening, everyone. I'm so happy you're here. I didn't, oh my gosh, golly. You know, I didn't change who I am to have a point of view change. So neither one of those are him. Yeah. He's just whatever will get him in the door. Right. And that's a problem because there's no difference than him, than Devin, or any of the other performance artists. They will do anything to get on TV. The cold part is, apparently, and this is one thing we're learning, there's just one acting coach for all of them. Obviously, Hillary was the one who needed the most help, but it's all the same thing. It's the old school guy, probably from somewhere in Detroit, an out-of-work reverend with some sketchy backside, who talks like this, and you got to do this and speak from here, and that way rhyme when you talk, but kind of rhyme when you don't. And people, you'll sound just like the king, and it doesn't matter what you're saying. And the worst was AOC basically said she folded clothes and worked as a waitress in the spirit of Martin Luther King. I have a dream, he did too, and that wasn't it.
Yes. So, Ryan, what's strange about you is that everybody wishes you wouldn't be yourself.
Right, that's interesting. Did you take notes on my background? By the way, worst intro ever. I've been introed on, Martha McCallum had me on at 3 o'clock today. Beautiful intro, talked about my shows and my impact on society. And what did you basically say? My books are gag gifts?
Yes, because they make people throw up.
Right, I need a crisis manager after doing this show. Right. This reminded me of Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick's a Super Bowl quarterback, a play or two away from being a Super Bowl champion. And he had the most promising future, and one thing led to another. He stopped being productive. He gets benched. Next thing you know, they're saying he's sitting during the national anthem. Then he's kneeling during the national anthem. Then he grows his hair out, changes his clothes, realizes he's bigger than football, sues the NFL, and no one realized he just forgot how to play football good. And that's why he changed. And now he's somebody he's not, which is why he doesn't give any interviews. He never talks. Muhammad Ali was a revolutionary, but he wanted the interview. He wanted to change the dialogue. It's going to be very interesting to see if this guy can hold up and actually to put up with an interview, a cross-examination about what he stands for, because the Democrats are putting a whole bunch of money and time behind him right now.
Yeah. You know, Kellyanne, it seems to me that wokeism is like is basically only about performance, right? I mean, I can't believe that the people that get mad at anybody like us actually feels that way, because we're doing nothing. Like if they get mad, they get angry, they yell at Riley Gaines as she's trying. It's like it's all a performance.
It is, and people are famous for being famous now. Remember Michael Avenatti now serving multiple decades for criminal sentences.
He's not president?
He's
Greg's
president of something in prison.
Yeah, Greg's favorite commentator, Brian Stelter, told Michael Avenatti, I think you could be president because you're such a good communicator. But he became famous for being famous. And one TV show leads to the next, leads to the next. And in the end, he went to jail for extorting Nike, went to jail for stealing money from clients, including a quadriplegic client. But I think that instead of learning the lesson of Hillary Clinton and avoiding all things Hillary, especially when it comes to phony campaigning and inauthenticity, Jill Biden, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the whole lot of them have learned from her. Do you remember Jill Biden went to California and she flubbed a speech she was given to a Hispanic group? She tried...
it was about breakfast tacos?
No, that was Texas.
Oh, yeah.
I was getting to that. Then she compared them to breakfast tacos. Kamala Harris went to Paris and she faked this French accent. Pete Buttigieg, I mean, just his qualifications to be Secretary of Transportation itself are a joke. You made an important word at the beginning. It's incentivized. But people cut through it. It starts in Washington, honestly, in Hollywood.
Kat, are you still mad that you aren't the spokesperson for Bud Light?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you should be.
I just think it would make more sense.
It would.
I would buy that beer.
I would too.
Who has a broier vibe than I do?
No, you call him Crispy Boys.
Crispy Boy.
Yeah.
Crispy, it's boy. You get it.
Yes.
Okay, so much of our discourse is performative because of social media. And I write about this in my book, which is out in 6 days, and all the people, I know. All the people who pre-ordered it are gonna be so happy, and all the ones who didn't are gonna be so upset that they don't know what everyone's talking about. They're gonna be crying, they're gonna be throwing up. It's gonna be horrible for those people. But unlike in real life, social media actually rewards outrage. There's been research done on this that these moral, emotional, or grandstanding language makes posts more popular on Twitter or on Facebook. And you think about how different that is from real life. If there was someone you knew in real life who was just constantly just making these grandiose moral, emotional statements with all these loaded words, you would stop inviting that person to brunch. But it's rewarded on social media because everyone wants to be popular on social media because you want to feel liked. You want everyone else to see how much everyone else likes you.
Yeah.
So it's destroying the discourse, which should be reflective of reality, which is issues are complex and so are human beings.
Excellent. All right, we got to move on. Up next, robots that fight crime on the taxpayer's dime.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.